It's time for a new evolution in raising golfers, one that doesn't involve headaches, tears, or heading down the path of unknown. Whether you're trying to introduce children to the game of golf, help them play competitively, or play at a collegiate level, you're in the right place. This show is for any parent, player, or coach who wants to build a better team at home and on the golf course. This is the Raising Golfers Podcast. I just want to share with you some of my favorite times on the golf course now is with family. And I think it just brings so much joy that golf is a sport that we can all play together. And I'm sure you feel the same way. So this week, we're going to talk all about family golf. So our guest this week is Cabdirashid Xuseen, and he is the father of 6. And not just 6 children, but also 6 children who all play golf.
People look at us when we go to drive range or somewhere. How do you do it? Where you get the money? How they love it? I mean, I have one and I'm struggling. I said, well, if you decide and you have intention, you stick to it. There is always a way. It always opens the door for you. So that is what we decided to do, and everything is working same direction.
Cabdirashid grew up in Somalia, where golf doesn't exist. And shortly after moving to the United States at the age of 25, he saw a young Tiger Woods playing in Los Angeles that changed his life forever. I'm looking forward to this interview and sure there'll be so much for us to enjoy and learn from this conversation. Cabdirashid, I really appreciate you coming and joining me on the Raising Golfers podcast. I think what's going to be special about this conversation is the dynamic of your family. And I think there's a lot of families and listeners of the podcast that can relate to how many golfers you have in your family. So maybe tell us a little bit about you know, how many kids you have, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I'm excited about this conversation, so welcome.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to share with you. And I have 6 children, 2 boys and 4 girls. The oldest is a boy, 16 years old, Muhammad, and the youngest is 2 years old. And between 4 girls, and you know, each one has a different way of feeling, testing, seeing. It's something that you have to have children to experience it, right?
Right. And all of them are playing golf, is that right?
They all play golf, yes, sir. Thanks God.
Now, let's back it up a little bit. Rashid, where are you from? And tell us a little bit about that background and how much golf is played from where you're from. And then I want to know how you guys all got into the game of golf, because I think this is fascinating.
I born and raised in Somalia, in East Africa.
Uh-huh.
There is no golf, and I never heard of golf or seen even on TV in Somalia because there's none. And the sports that is known in Somalia is either here they call it soccer, right? Back there we call football.
Right.
And
Right.
basketball and distance running is known for East Africa, distance running and soccer ball. So my early upbringing, that is the only thing is out there. If you are a boy, that is the only thing you have chance to play. I played soccer and then moved on to distance running. And Civil War happened, and then I fled from Somalia to United States when I was 25 years old. I went to college, and the thing that I'm familiar or know is physically and mentally was distance running. I run for the college here. Wanted to run for 2000 Olympic in Sydney, Australia.
Really?
Sadly, I could not get a support or sponsorship. Kind of like my dream, kind of like felt like, oh, I wish I would have participated because my specialty was 1500 meters. And one day I was sitting on my TV and watching, and then the breaking news here in LA, kind of like sports news. I saw Tiger Woods, who was late teen. People are clapping for him. And that was the first time that I ever seen or heard golf in 2000. And I became kind of like interested. The crowd, and he's African American, he's a black, you know, I'm from continent of a black continent. And I said, what make this teenage so special? And what is this game, golf? I wrote the name. Once the sport it finished, I went to the library in Culver City, and I asked book about golf. So get the book and get some DVD and set myself watching and reading about golf, where this game came from, why it's been hiding from Africa, from Somalia. And little by little, by reading, it's a game that has been about 500 years old. And I watch, then it just clicked me. Huh. Soccer and other what you call distance is a game of physical, you know that. Loneliness and so many injuries. Then when I looked this game, I said, wow, since I am now almost 30 years old, my prime time is gone if I'm a distance runner, so I can't do much. So decided if God give me children, I will teach this game because this game that it's not a team and it doesn't require physical and it play the most panoramic field that you could ever find anywhere else. That is the moment I decided, and that is the moment I went to study more about golf. I didn't have the children back then. So waited my wife to come from Somalia. She came, and then her son was Muhammad, 2004, he born, and then we just right started. The moment he started running, we started playing golf. But I don't know, and he doesn't know, and we don't know where to get the balls. We don't know where the golf course is. So we started in the living room,
It's the best place to start.
just hitting the putting and just watching TV and hitting putting. His sisters came along, and every sibling wants to assimilate to the other one. Hey, my turn, my turn, my turn. Then they started breaking the walls, all of that. And I said, guys, enough. We can't do this. They reach 5, 6 years. And I said, we have to find a way to practice this. And I took them
Right.
to run to the park, in veteran park in Culver City. We got a net, and then we started sitting there, putting my knees down, putting the ball on them, and then hitting to the net. And then gentleman came to us for the recreation park, the police. He said, guys, you see the sign. There is no golf. Here is only this one because you're destroying the grass. I asked, what can we do? Because this is the only what I could afford now because I have to buy golf balls in order to practice at the range. And I was not able financially. And he told me, why don't you get some mat you put on the top of the mat, the ball, so the grass would be safe. So I get the mat and I put it on. That is how we begin practicing golf in a regular park.
I love that story.
From there, I went to golf course, and then 3 of them started hitting. But a small pocket, which is a 70 balls, it costs $5. 3 of them 15. I could not come up with. So I figured out there are some golf courses that, especially Westchester, by the LAX.
Yeah.
It has like a dirt road by the driving range. So many balls went other side of, outside. And I took the plastic bag. I collect the golf balls outside the driving range. And then I pick those balls. We come here at the park and we hit it. So I saved that balls because I collected and I collected until we found out that there is a way we could get some help. So that is how I started golf. And ever since, we never stopped practicing until today.
I've got a question for you, right? So you've got this rich background in sports. So you played soccer, you did distance running, you found golf by watching just randomly on TV. You saw Tiger Woods, and you realized that maybe this is a sport that can be played for a long time, and it's not such about being physical, like you said. I guess I would assume what you meant is that there's more to it than just the physical aspect. There's the mental side, and that was something that you wanted to have your children go through and experience as a sport instead. Is that right?
Absolutely.
With those beginnings with your kids, so you're practicing in the living room, they're starting to break a bunch of stuff in the house. You take them out to the park. Like, how did you keep them interested? Like, what other things did you immerse them into the game of golf? Did you let them watch it on TV a lot, or how did they get excited about the game?
We watch golf usually on weekend when it's a regular TV because we don't have a cable, which is cost quite about $50, $60 to have that cable. We didn't have, but we had the weekends that they put on golf. It comes regular channels.
Mm-hmm.
And we just limited ourselves to education, family, and golf. And the moment they see it during the weekends on the regular TV, they love themselves. They want to be in the game. And the moment we started going to golf courses, they excited more because before they were between me and them in the recreation park, but now in golf course or driving range, they see a more scenery and they enjoy more. We were not going too much in the driving range because we could not afford it, but we found SCGA Youth on Course.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
So yeah, when you have kind of like you're a low income family, you send your papers how much you make income. It's a great venue. Without them, we won't be here where we are today. So we get three of them youth on course. The packet where we're supposed to pay $7 or what have you, now we get for $2.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? That's so good. I love that. It's a question I was going to ask because regardless really of your any family's income really is, when you have 6 kids playing the game of golf, and the game of golf is not a cheap sport to get into, you've got to get creative about how to find ways to make it affordable to get all of your
Yes.
kids involved, right? And I do think that Youth on Course is an amazing program for an initiative to get junior golfers to play on the golf course and just be around the whole golf environment. And I think it's amazing.
Yes, without SCGA, believe me, we wouldn't be able to have where we are today. Without their support, without youth on course golf program that they have. Until today, that's what we use to get the range balls, also to practice ourselves. They pay $3 so they could play 9 hole or 18 hole. We could find it anywhere that you go. That is a program I really want to parents to know there is opportunity out there if anyone is looking for, especially golf.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you got 6 kids. Do you go to the golf course all together? All 6 kids go? You, your wife, does everybody go?
Yes, we all go, and when this age, usually coach can handle 1-5 ratio or one maximum 1-6 ratio, right? But the thing I have is
Right.
different level and different age group. 3 are advanced, 2 are middle, intermediate, right? And one he just started like 2 years old.
Mhm.
So we have to keep separate because these ones they need to advance, the 3 old ones, and this one they could
Mhm.
play like part 3, and this one find a part 4. That's what we were doing. But now COVID-19 happened, 2020, and the golf course closed, and hard to find a tee time at all. And we kind of like limited where we
Right.
go. We can't find a tee time anywhere, and we ended up playing part 3, almost 4 days, 5 days, at least to keep
Mm.
the mind and the body move active. And I thought I am in a big shape having 60 kids playing until I saw your click, you and your children. It just, you make my day, really, really make me happy. Your 8 years baby, just his free will, getting club, he's still his belly on the ground, taking the club and then hitting to the ball. That make me the most happy moment of my life. It just, you are my hero, believe me. uh,
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I think, what it is, and I've talked about this with some guests on the podcast, is just children are born brilliant. Children are just born extremely intelligent. And I think if we, as adults, allow them the opportunity to show us what they can actually do and what they enjoy doing, I think they'll
right.
flourish in anything. And the game of golf, really, there's so many elements to it, whether it's mental, physical, there's just so many different elements to the game. And I think that's why golf's so beautiful and such a beautiful game. And yeah, I think it's just fascinating, and I find it really fascinating that you've got 6 of these kids in the game. And do they all like to play together? Do all 6 of them enjoy being together on the golf course together?
Yes, yes, they really do. Without them liking it, there is no way you could, every day you could push someone, let's do it. No, they're in love, and I'm just kind of like, sometimes I'm just driver, like, hey, let's go. Because me and my wife, we
Right.
decided to limit our social activity outside because we just said, hey, this is what it is. Okay, either we take our time, give for them, so they will have good life, or we could be a parent who will have his friends and social and going out, all of this, and they will just enjoy watching TV. So we both decided to cut social aspect outside and put our time just them, just education. And I explained them golf is a part
Mm.
of education.
Yeah, I love that.
Everything, it takes same amount of time and energy to learn something. So that is how we decided, and nothing else. And people look at us when we go to driving or somewhere. How do you do it? where you get the money? How they love it? I mean, I have one and I'm struggling. I said, well, if you decide and you have intention, you stick to it. There is always a way. It always opens the door for you. So that is what we decided to do, and everything is working same direction.
That's really cool. Yeah, and I get asked a similar question with my two boys as well, and they say, how come they like it so much? And what I tell them, I say, I think for them, golf is a part of life already. So they see me play it, they see me coach it, they see I play with them. We watch it on TV together. We swing plastic clubs in the house just for fun and hit balloons or whatever, is interesting for them at the time. And I think for them, they think that, like you said, golf is also part of education. I think it's also for them, it's part of life. And because of that, they
Right.
have so much enjoyment. And it sounds like your dynamic in your family is very similar. Is that right?
Absolutely, because kids are very smart at the same time they're very innocent. If you just give
Hmm.
them what they like, for example, game, or they addict to it. It's like a drugs. The game is very, very powerful. It goes into their brain, and they become how to explain it, crying if they don't play it, and wanting it, and they ruin their chances of life. So we limit everything else
Right.
because they don't know what is good for them. This until they reach teenage. That is a most difficult
Hmm.
time any parent could do to choose something that is last longer career. School is number one, and choose what sports that they like. It and limit. You do it like you said. That is a perfect because I am doing it and I'm seeing it and I'm watching it. They are quick to learn. They've learned very fast. Seeing, they start reacting to it. So the older one, the second one, everyone, monkey see, monkey do. You feel it? If this one does, the other one also in line. He wants to do it. It is a
Hmm.
scenery. I mean, if you have one or two, you put one, I guarantee you the second one will join it without you influencing anything. So that is what make
Hmm.
everything less. Because I do not encourage you to do anything because I did not open the door for it. We just said, hey, we have golf. This is what we know. This is what we're capable. Beside that, living in LA is very, very difficult to have two different choices at the same time because they finish school at the same time, 3:15, 3. And by the time they finish, how could you go three different locations or two different locations to drop? If one chooses baseball or basketball or one dances. So I cannot go one location to another location within time frame in LA. It's hard to do it afternoon.
For sure.
By the time I drop this one, the time is over. By the time I come back, if I wait that one, the other one cannot do anything. It's just impossible to have three different
Hmm.
activity in the same afternoon. So I said, guys, the time is limit, so we could do what we can. So we joined together. That helped me a lot for them all doing one sports.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I actually had an episode that was called The Power of Environment and Community. And it almost sounds like your whole family with six kids is already has its own like micro environment and micro
Mhm.
community built in within it, right? And you also said
Yep.
like monkey see, monkey do. So it's like the younger ones see what the olders are doing. They want to do what they're doing. They copy and like you don't even have to do much influence. You just need to get them to that place and that location. And the environment of
Mhm.
just the six of them thrives within its own, right? And I think that's
Right.
huge. And maybe some families listening, they don't have as many children as you may have, but maybe they can find a small group in junior golf environment and understand that that environment can actually boost and help your child thrive because they see the other kids doing it. They want to be like them. And if they're a little bit younger, they're going to strive to be as good or play as good or have as much fun as the other kids. Right. And you get that just within your own family, which is cool.
Right. Right. It's the first 5 or to 10 years is the most challenging one in terms convincing themselves, likeness, or getting along with a golf. Left, right, up, down, all of this. But once they reach to about 5 to 10 years that they stick to it, absolutely they will enjoy. Absolutely they will enjoy. So
Of
now of the sports, now I'm feeling it. The old ones are teaching the younger one. So now I say like relief. Not only they help teach them, they learn it by teaching them too. They feel it. Some ups and
Hmm.
downs that they did. So it's kind of like more way to learn that I found from them.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And do you guys talk about golf at home? Like at dinner, is golf a topic that you guys discuss?
Yes, especially the three old ones now, what I see is that when they see all these pros, they say, I want to live Florida. I want to live Hawaii. I want to buy a big mansion. I want to buy a big house. I want to make this company when I become. It just like become a daily routine that now they're looking at houses. When we pass by a house, they say, this is the one I buy. That's the one I buy. I said, oh my goodness, this is a good way to go. They are thinking where they want to live in the future. I said, take it easy. Take it easy. Don't grow too fast. So it's saying, Daddy, why can't we move that house? I mean, I say, honey, you'll do your own someday. Don't just to keep practicing. You will have your own house someday. S-
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, and I've watched some of the videos that you post as well, and I've seen, I think your older girls, the older girls are in there, and they talk and they describe some things that they're doing on the golf course, and they've got so much personality, and I'm sure it's built from school and their friends, and I'm sure it's built from your own family, and I'm sure a lot of it comes from golf as well, and they just have such a
right,
bright personality, and I think probably golf helps even enlighten that even more in who they are, and gives them so much confidence in how they can talk and
right,
speak. And I just thought it was great. I love watching those videos from your family. It's cool.
right. Well, I started watching you. I thought I'm the early starter in golf for my children, but I was wrong until I saw you holding your son in your chest and swinging. I never knew. That is phenomenal. I hope someday you go not only podcast, but you go on TV. I mean, what you bring into the community, to the country, is phenomenal. I want you to go on TV. Believe me, you are doing such a job that yours is the
I
one I
appreciate
need to
that.
watch. Holding this baby on your chest and hitting golf. That is phenomenal how you make it. And the time you dedicated, you never said, oh, this is a child. He's too young. No, nothing. They are not too young. They have more brain than we do. And it fills me. If I get another child, I will do like you, put on my chest and hit it. Not don't worry about the goals. That makes me so really feeling enthusiastic. I have another parent that
Yeah, no, I appreciate those kind words. What's funny is before I had kids, I always thought that you needed to wait until the children were 5, 6, 7 years old to start golf, and then we got this plastic set of clubs, and I just thought, why not just expose them to the game and just see what happens? And my oldest figured it out on his own. I haven't taught him anything about golf or the golf swing. And then you saw that video of my
uh-huh,
8-month-old son, and he's doing the monkey see, monkey do thing, and he just figured out, here's this tool, which is the club. Here's this ball which can move.
hmm
Let's get the tool to hit the ball
hmm
and see what happens. And I excited him. And that's, I think children can start from the day they're born. They're born brilliant.
In fact, that is how me and my wife started.
Exactly right.
That the plastic club that you're talking about, I remember we bought $5. It was set like few golf plastic ones and one driver. It did not last a week. He broke it down, and that is how we began with it to begin.
That's awesome. So looking forward now,
Mhm.
what are you hoping your children get out of the game of golf? And let's say by the time they're, I don't know, past their teenage years or ready for college, like what is it your hopes that your kids can walk away from this upbringing in the game of golf?
Two things, because the hope keep always changing as older we get. The environment changes. But the
Hmm.
first one is that they could, if they could get a college, that's the main one, because I could not pay for their college. That's why I wanted them to find education to go to college, and
Hmm.
paid for them. If they finish college and they have keep still the love, then they could enjoy becoming a pro golfer, or choosing their career as a golf, which gives them long life. They never retire in golf, as you know. They could play 80 years old. They could
Hmm.
enjoy lifelong
Hmm.
happiness. These are the two. One, to get to the college. Two is their choice. If they go to college, then continue their golf career, which I'm sure that is their aim. So I don't tell them this is what you want to be or this is what I want you to be. I just wanted them, hey, let's try to get to college, paid and then get a scholarship, and from there then you decide what you want. Those are the two main that I want because I wanted them to enjoy long term in this game of golf.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like what you're doing and the dynamic you already have, you're not pushing them, you're not pushing them too hard necessarily to be the greatest golfer, but you're providing them the environment they need to thrive in, and in many ways. And it sounds like that encouragement has really given them such a positive feeling about the game of golf, which I think is just an important thing, I think, for anybody to hear and see what you're doing, which is really, really cool. So I'm curious, I'd like some advice. So, how would you advise bigger families to get everyone into the game of golf? Like, what would you, maybe it's something you've done, or maybe something you thought about you might have done differently, but what advice would you give somebody that's got 3, 4 kids in their family and they want everybody to play the game of golf?
Uh, I I think there is some kind of there is opportunity here in America. If you live in America, there is a golden opportunity. There is always a way. Once you decide, it's the parents have to decide to begin with because kids cannot go to the golf course by their own. So you have to have motivation to decide what you wanted them to achieve. You have to drive, right? So deciding is the key. Once you decide, everything is going to fall into it. Like you show one and you expose to it and the rest will follow. But you have to be consistent, weekly,
Mhm.
daily, whatever it is. Just expose to the game itself. The rest it will take for it. Absolutely.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's great advice. So then here's another one for you is, and this is for the listeners and something maybe you've experienced, is how do you not judge one child's progress from the other? So for example, let's say your 10-year-old isn't playing the same level that maybe the 10-year-old, your older one, was at 10 years old. Like, how do you not judge that? And like, how do parents and adults understand that kids' progression can be at a different speed and different pace? Like, what do you do, with your kids when you see, because I'm sure they're not all progressing at the same pace, right? So what advice would you have for other
True.
parents that have, more than one kid? What would you tell them?
I would say just let it go because it happened to me myself, especially my two daughters. They kind of like competing each other. Yet one loves the game more than the other one. And the
Mhm.
one started younger than the other one because I had the son Mohammed, and then I had a Salma, and then Siham was the youngest. She was a third. So she started earlier than them. She was like, the
Mm.
moment she started walking, she said, my turn, my turn. I want to do the same because the
Right.
body and mind connected early on. See, that is what you're doing. That is a perfect. I didn't know that. I wish I have seen you before, before I started. So Siham is the one who have more connection now than anybody else. And then Selma comes and Siham sometimes wins her age group, her flight, and Selma, and then she say, "You always prefer Siham than me." And I said, "No, you all the same, but I just have to let it go. Let them feel it themselves. That makes it easy. So the other one will start, competing like the youngest sibling. So just don't go one another. Just say, oh, both of you did good. Just let the mind figure out. Let them
Mm.
figure out. Otherwise, you will be sidelined. You choosing one from other ones. That it happened to me. So I let it go.
Right. That's good advice. Yeah, I like that. And what would you say has been the most difficult thing, whether it's for your kids or for you as a parent watching your kids play golf? Like, what's been the most difficult thing for you during this journey? Watch them all kind of grow up in the game of golf. Like, what have you had to grow on and improve on yourself throughout this process?
I just whenever I get in a situation like that, I just think back my early life in Somalia. I born as in farmland. We've been from early on. We farming everything we have to make manually. We farm by manually. Nothing technology is not doesn't exist. So by doing that, I compare myself here. Here is easier to get education, to get a sports, so many opportunity here than where I've been raised in Somalia. So I looked that situation compared to this one, and I said, here I could do more than over there because the tools are here, opportunity is here, and sometime I want to take them all in one car, and they won't fit because older ones they have to have push cart and 4 or 5 push cart with 5 golf bags. It won't fit my car. So now we have to find a van, my wife, and it won't fit all of them, and we can't fit all of them in one van. We are 8 together with a 6 golf clubs, 6 golf bag push. It won't fit, so we have to use 2 cars. We always, and sometimes you know how the traffic is to get from one point to another point afternoon. And then it comes to financial aspect. 3 are advanced; they need to play 18 hole, and 3 are, especially 2 are. So how can we divide me, these 3 advanced, and mother, these 2, and these 3? And they need me because mommy doesn't know how to advise what to do with whatnot. And I want to be with these three groups to align them, what to do. So I kind of like in the middle, which should I go? And some kids want me to be with them, especially when they play in tournament. It's a fine line that you just have to let it go and be in the moment, be in the golf course, and then let them hit fair shot, and everything, it will open it up itself. So by sticking to the timeline, so everything solved by itself. It will easy. It will, relief will come into the golf course. So, but if we say we can't make it, then it's done. We can't make it because it is me who have ability to drive, but they are not, right? So it's the most difficult choice is to make is to get them ready to take from here to get to the golf course and let them have. Once they are in the tee, on the tee hitting, now you get the relief. You just need to enjoy watching and see what is ups and downs, and then come to the driving range and say, hey, this is this one, this is this one. Especially the 3 older ones, now they are coaching the 3 little ones, which gives me like retirement, like I'm retired, kind of like thing, feeling like, this is the moment I've been looking for. So
That's great.
It's everything is possible. If you decide and you get up every day, same thing, I guarantee you, things will open it up and will get easier and easier if you keep consistently.
That's good advice. Yeah. I mean, Cabdirashid, your journey, what you've gone through so far, not only just in life, but with your raising your 6 children through the game of golf, I think is just so fascinating. And I think there's a lot of things that us as parents and even coaches listening can take away from your journey. And I think what you've done, at least what I heard from you, was you really simplified your thoughts, and your decisions were simplified, and you go with those decisions that you have and the choices you can make at that moment, and you don't look back. And I think that's really good advice, not even just for golf or for raising children, but also just for life itself. And I think that's a very important thing that you shared there, and I like that a lot. So if people wanted to follow your journey more, where could people find more about what you guys are doing and your life and raising children in the game of golf?
We have something called we have Instagram called Masari Golf at Instagram and YouTube Masari Golf, and also we have Somali American Golf Association on Facebook, and this is the where we post weekly what we do. Not because we just want it, but we want other community, other people, other parents can see and can take advantage of it. Because at the end of the day, is everything based on what you see is what you receive, what you want to do it. So if someone else look at us and they said, oh, we want to do this, that is only what we are looking. Because if I don't see Tiger Wood play, there is no way I will ever know golf. So it is a journey of every day you see something, you like it, and you want to do it the same. So same way I've been get the golf, I see it, and I decided someone else will see, and they decide for their children. It just community awareness, just to show this is doable. Everything is possible if you decide. You
Absolutely.
could move forward with it. That is what I'm trying to say. People think is you have to have certain thing or certain intellect, or you have to have a certain car or house, or you have to be rich. That is not the truth. The truth is deciding what you want and sticking to it. That is the first and most important one, is
I love that. Yeah.
just stick
I
to
think
it.
that's great advice.
So anyone who wants to step in, wants to learn from it, yeah, Masari Golf in Instagram and Facebook, that is the best one they could see. Also, if anyone wants to sponsor some child for tournaments, absolutely, we're looking forward to that. Anyone who wants to sponsor someone, child, or for the tournaments, we open to that also. We're looking because we don't know how to move on where we are to the next level, because the competition is the key, especially three older ones. They need to compete, but it costs like $80 to 220 30 for one child. I mean, I have a three advanced. Most kids who financially able, they play every week in a competition, so they could move faster. But that is where I'm limited, because I'm not getting
Mm.
sponsorship yet. I don't know where, but hopefully someone will tune in and see if they want to sponsor it. We're open to it, for sure.
Right. And I'll definitely share in the show notes your, where people can find you and follow you and all that kind of stuff like that. And I think anybody should feel free to reach out to you, ask you questions, and talk to you more about golf in general. I think would be great. I think you've got so much to share. So before I let you go, could you give us just one last piece of advice? And that would be for you to share with us is what would be your final piece of advice for raising golfers?
That is the most difficult one, because it depends which environment where you live. Number one. Number two, if you decided and you love it, the game, you decided and you love it, stick to it. Just let it go. Never let go away from you. Everything will fall into the goal that you had in mind. Yeah, just being patient with it is the number one. Don't rush. Don't look. Kids are winning. Mine is not winning. No, don't rush. Every tournament there is a winner, and every tournament there is a loser. That is the nature of the game, as well as in life. So do not give up. Just stick to it. The time will come if you stay with it, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Cabdirashid, I really enjoyed learning about how you've raised your 6 children in the game of golf. I'm certainly going to continue to follow you guys and see how your journey progresses. And I'm wishing you all the best of luck with everything in the future. And I know, we'll stay in contact, and, I might send you some messages about some ideas off of some of the things and experiences you've gone through as a father raising golfers. And I think there's a lot from us all to take away from today in this episode. So really appreciate you coming on. Best of luck in the future with everything, and look forward to staying connected with you going forward.
I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm sure watching you, I'm glad I found you. You are more courageous person than I am, because like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in your chest and going to golf course and hitting, giving up everything. That made my day. And I'm following you every step. We're watching you. My kids love it. Why you did not introduce to us when we were, crawling, Papa? I said, well, here you have now. So really, thank you. Opportunity.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that is how you raise 6 golfers in one family. I love the family dynamic they have and how golf is part of life for all of them. I've seen their videos on social media, and it's great to see how much the whole family enjoys the game. They have so much fun, and you can just see some of the older children teaching the younger ones, and it's just an awesome dynamic. Cabdirashid had so much to share for us adults listening on not only the process of junior golf, but raising children and a great mindset to have in life. If you found yourself in a tough situation, maybe try his advice, which was whatever your goal is, stick to it and just go for it. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and keep playing the game of golf as a family forever. If you enjoy listening to our podcast and the information you got from this episode, do us a favor and continue to support us by hitting that subscribe button and giving us a 5-star review. Your continued support will help us continue to grow and be able to interview some of the most experienced parents, coaches, and players in the golf industry to help you continue to raise your golfer to their full potential.